Imagine having an AI-powered search engine for candidate profiles from across the open web and even from within your own ATS. Well, that's exactly what HireTool is. HireTool is a global talent platform that serves all recruiters, from small businesses to the world's largest enterprises. And with 750 million plus profiles from over 45 open web sources and channels and 30 plus integration partners, there's literally something for everyone. Recruiters can find more talent with AI sourcing, send unlimited emails, and integrate with your favorite recruitment tools all in one platform. If you're spending hours looking for qualified candidates, underrepresented talent, and updated contact information, then HireTool is probably what you need for your toolkit. HireTool is a platform that helps great recruiters accomplish more every single day. Check them out at hiretool.com.
All right. HR Famous, Chris Dunn with you. The whole gang is back. The gang, in quotation marks. She's Jessica Lee. He's Tim Sackett. JLee, I'm going to start with you. I want to ask you a question. Well, first of all, I want to brag a little bit, and then I'm going to ask you a question, which is my favorite way of involving the good people of HR Famous. So I'd like to point out, for the record, JLee, damn, I was up early this morning. I was Ben Franklin, like...
What time?
Early, like 5 a.m.
Wow. Central time or Eastern time?
Central. Which
That's 6 a.m., so we were already up.
Okay, yeah. So the time, you understand, though, that time zones work like they're active where you are.
I know, but right? Everything's a competition. I'm just saying, we were up before you, though.
Because, really, you look lazy compared to a person like somewhere in the Atlantic or in London. So anyway, don't steal my thunder, JLee. I was up early, and it felt good. Tim Sackett would be proud of me. I'm coming to him next, but JLee, do you get a lot of stuff done work-wise in the morning? Like, are you a morning person, or are you a late afternoon to evening person from a work perspective when family doesn't have an impact on it?
I'm a night person. I'm not a morning person.
Shout out to the night people.
Shout out to the night people. 6 a.m. is not a pleasant time for me. I'm not awake, actually.
So, excuse me. So that's definitive, right? It's like you're a night person, like I am.
Correct.
That's the way we do it.
I do my best work like at 11 p.m., 11:30 p.m., my best thinking. I'm most productive. Just crank it out. Yes.
JLee, give that to me again. So you said like 10:30, 11 p.m. Is that correct? Kids are in bed. Yeah. And you're back
this is even before kids. Yeah, like 10:30 to whatever time. That's like, I think I do my best work.
I think they call that the golden hour.
It is.
For you individually, JLee.
Yeah. Oh, individually. Yeah. Everyone has their own.
Easy, Tim. I'm bringing you in a second. You'll get to talk about your ways in a second. Got it. JLee, does that continue now that you have kids?
100%.
Okay. Got it. Golden hour for JLee. 10 to 11 p.m., maybe later. Mm-hmm. All of this is leading into something I want to talk about related to just a report I got from Microsoft Office related to my work habits and some opinions that it had. We'll get into that in a second. I want to bring in our third member of the team. Sometimes he's number one. Sometimes he's number two. He's third today, at least in talking, although he tried to come in hot on us after we mentioned golden hour. He's like, what? Tim Sackett, how are you? Tim, when is your golden hour?
You don't know me, son. I would say like I'm an early riser. I like getting up early, just naturally.
Right.
If I hit my stride around 9 a.m., like 9 to 11 a.m., I can just kill like a lot of stuff. A lot of work gets done. But depending on, like, again, I usually get in the office, anywhere from 7:30. It's pretty quiet, so I can get a lot done then as well. So,
got it. Shout out to the morning people. What's your first 2 hours when you get up at 3:30 a.m., Tim? What's your first
No,
2
no.
hours look like?
I think that's what surprises people is like, I'm like a 15, 20-minute drive to the office from the house.
NPR.
Huh?
NPR. You got
NPR on the
NPR
way
on.
in. Yep, little BBC in the morning, get some world news. But no, I mean, I get up an hour probably before I'm in my office. And so it's literally up, shower, change, car, NPR here, hit breakfast, some Diet Mountain Dew, and I'm off. So like I'm not one that get up and like sit in my robe with a cup of coffee reading a book for an hour.
It's interesting you bring that up, Tim Sackett. One of the things I like to do in the morning, like
Sit in a
JLee,
robe, with a
I don't.
coffee.
It's
Fuzzy
not a
slippers.
robe. It's not a robe.
Yeah.
But I do like to read. I like to read a chapter or two in the morning. Kind of like settles me into the day. I hear you're reading more books these days, Tim Sackett. Is that true?
It's true. One person keeps sending me books via Amazon. So
what influence cares about you so much to send you great books, Tim? Dare I ask?
Should we try 75 hard? Have you guys seen that on TikTok, Jay?
Mm-mm.
It's crazy, stupid thing that people like. You have to you start 75 days in a row where you have to work out twice for 45 minutes. You can't have any alcohol, which KD would be fine. You have to read at least 10 pages in a book. And then there's like a diet thing you have to follow too. And if you get to day 37 and you have like just a little like mimosa, nope, you start all the way again. 75 hard.
I'm never doing that. I like my wine too much.
Yeah, she's out. All right. So the reason I asked you here on HR Famous, like what your golden hour was, is something happened to me last week and I wrote about it. I don't know if the two of you have received this, but I'm sure some of our listeners have. And I wrote about it on the HR Capitalist. I wanted to talk to the two of you. I wanted to kind of cover my stats, if you will. So for those of us that work in Microsoft Office, it should come as no surprise that there is, I think the technical term for this is a shit ton of data on our work habits. So Microsoft does this thing called MyAnalytics where they send reports to individuals. They say that they don't aggregate it. And I trust Microsoft. By the way, I'm cool with tracking. Let me just say this. Like, I am 100% okay with tracking. Like, I enjoy getting in my car and Google Maps telling me, like, based on the time I'm getting in my car, where it thinks I'm going and how long it's going to take me there. JLee, do you like that?
I sure do. I'm okay with the data. And by the way, I don't believe that they're not tracking. Like, they're not reporting at a company level, but they're aggregating and doing stuff with it. There's no doubt about that.
That's true. Just like Google is. But
yes.
So anyway, back to the Microsoft thing. I got a report. It was called the MyAnalytics Wellbeing Edition. JLee, do you remember? We talked about well-being maybe 9 or 10 episodes back. Do you remember what we talked about it? Like what the topic was?
Oh, at that point, were we talking about mental health well-being?
Yeah, but there was something in the news where we were talking about it. Anyway, it's all good. And like one of the things, that I mentioned is that like I try and disconnect pretty well for a day, at least a day a week, and get away from things. Sometimes I'm successful. Sometimes I'm not, which the Microsoft MyAnalytics platform gave me great feedback on that, JLee. So what I want to do is, Tim, I've been talking to JLee more than you, so I'm going to bring you in first on each one of these. I got 4 stats that Microsoft sent me last week. I'm going to tell you what my stat is.
Yep.
And then you can give me anything you want. You can give me life coaching. You can give me observations that you've made about me, or you could go broader and just talk about the workplace in general. But I thought it was interesting. So last week, MyAnalytics Wellbeing Edition was sent to me. By the way, I didn't read it at this time. It was sent to me at 1:27 a.m. So from a well-being perspective, I think that's interesting. I would just let that soak in a little bit. So the first thing that they gave me was just the fact that they're not really impressed with my commitment to what I would call crushing it. Okay. And the way they gave me feedback on that is they said, out of the last month, Chris, you've had 2 quiet days where you were free from work distraction after working hours. Now, I should say this, and I'm going to throw it to you, Tim. Working hours defined by the normal default that you set up on your Microsoft calendar. I believe mine's like 8:30 to 5:30, but it showed me that I only had 2 quiet days, which includes weekends where I didn't do something work related outside of those normal Monday through Friday working hours. Tim Sackett, go. Observations about me, about the platform, whatever you've got.
Yeah, I was just taking a look at mine because I get the same one sent. And I think part of it depends on how much you work within the platform, right? Of Outlook. So there's 4 of them, right? Network edition, wellbeing, focus edition, collaboration edition. And so I took a look at when they were all sent to me, like in the middle of like early morning, like between 2 and 4 a.m., which my guess is they do that because that's probably low, like volume email can get out easier, right?
I get mine at 9 a.m.
Really?
Yeah.
So there you go. We have no idea why. But it is kind of, Mike, it's funny that you said yours is like 8:30 to 4. Is that your workday, KD?
8:30 to 5:30.
8:30 to 5:30.
Set up.
Mine is 9 to 5. But again, I don't remember ever setting that. I think it just probably came as is, and I never like fucked around with it. So you're gonna obviously it's gonna be measuring differently based on like how you do. So like there's one of those things where you can manipulate it if you want to be like the crusher like KD and have 0 quiet days because you're working outside of normal work hours. Is you just put your normal work hours as like 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. right, and then you're constantly working outside those hours.
Well, I appreciate the the life coaching on how to set up my Outlook calendar.
Tim. I'm just saying if you want to manipulate the data.
That was super cool. My point is,
wow, you're really on fire today, aren't you?
I'm just hosting. I'm just doing the hosting thing.
This is what happened when he woke up early. He woke up early and he's just all his energy.
Can you stop waking up at 5 a.m.
Sleep in, please.
Go back to 9 a.m. so we can get the regular KD.
But the point being, JLee, and I want to bring you in, then Tim can come back in. My whole point in covering these stats with you is the vast majority, it didn't really matter about me because I'm going to do like what I want to do anyway. And I'm going to write like pithy, like blog posts about it, and try and like have fun with it. But I think the bigger point from an HR perspective, a talent perspective, JLee, is that these emails are going out to our folks. And from a wellness edition perspective, the vast majority of calendars are going to be set up like 9 to 5, 8:30 to 5:30, whatever, right? They're going to be normal hours that they recommended. And if people work outside of those hours, they're going to get pings and suggestions, JLee, that tells them, or at least suggests that they've got some work to do from a well-being perspective, correct?
Yes, but I think the problem with this is that, you can never feel like you don't want it to come across as if there's like a one size fits all. And that's what I hate about this. Like my golden hour, to your earlier question, was my golden hour is nighttime, right? And so Microsoft will criticize me for doing things, at whatever time of day and blah, blah, blah. And that's when I start to get issue with this kind of stuff is like, there's not a single approach to this.
What Katie's trying to get at is we need to stop being like having technology that makes our employees more soft and makes them more hard, right? Like, why are we telling them to stop working and reminding them that they're working too hard versus kicking them in the ass a little harder? That's what he wanted me to get at. And I was trying to get there, but he just couldn't wait. So he just jammed himself back in and then threw it to you to hope to get to that answer.
Yeah. Are you guys okay? I feel like we need to maybe talk some things out.
I thought the coaching like on my calendar was like well founded.
No.
I'm looking forward to some coaching on my running stride next. It's like, KD, I think you're going a little too long on the stride. Maybe like shorter stride, more steps. I think would be good for you. Hip flexors and all. All right, let me give you the next stat that it gave me. So it also talked to me, JLee, this would hit you, I'm sure at times, gave me feedback about really my wellness related to working past midnight. So it said that I compromised my nightly recharge on 6 days last month by working past midnight. So it will capture hours, oddly enough, midnight to 5 a.m. when I got up today. It will capture those hours as interrupting what they call nightly recharge. And it just so happens, JLee, I'll start with you on this one. It just so happens that, about once a week, I wake up in the middle of the night. Sometimes I try and be good and not grab my phone, but I know when I wake up that I'm up for an hour, kind of one way or the other. Like when I wake up, that's just me. And if I grab my phone and scroll through like a little email, just seeing what came in, that's what I do. So, I'm going to wake up. I'm not necessarily working. I'm just grabbing my phone, which I understand, JLee. I think you would agree with this is not a best practice, correct?
Well, it's not a best practice, but for some people, so like here's like my beef with all of this. Like, I just feel like everyone is different, right? Like for me, I do things during certain hours because that's when I can. That's when my kids are sleeping. That's when things are quiet. That's when I can focus. And it happens to be late at night and sometimes past midnight, because that's of my choosing and it's what works for me. And so I just, I like looking at this data personally. And like, I always dig into what Microsoft is sending me, but their definition of like what well-being is, their definition, not mine. So
JLee, what would you say, like Tim, like accurately, like went to where, like I wanted this conversation to go, like we should be concerned that like we don't get aggregated roll-ups of the data, nor should we, but we should be concerned that people like are leading normal like work lives and have normal work-life balance and are getting kind of these, I don't know if it's subjective. Well, it's subjective because we haven't really slotted our hours, right? To say, this is how I work. Nobody has. And our people are getting this stuff that's sending a message that, hey, JLee, you need to chill. Is that a problem organizationally? It feels like an issue for me.
Well, so I think it depends on like what is done with it. So like to your point, like I don't think we should have a roll up at an organizational level. I have mixed feelings about like, Microsoft sending emails like this, but what I actually think could work is like having a conversation with your team around, okay, you guys all got this email this week. Like, I'm not going to tell you what you should be doing, but like, how are you using this? Is it helpful? Like, what are you doing with this data? How do you want to adjust, what your, norms are? I feel like there's richness in a conversation being prompted. Maybe you don't need the Microsoft data to do it, but I think for at least like spurring a conversation, but also recognizing that people are all going to be different and that there isn't like a single way to do things. Because like, for me, it'll say you read email outside of work hours. I might not be up in the middle of the night like you reading emails, but some of it is like I decide to shut off my computer at 4:30, take my kids to the pool, and I'm okay with sitting by the pool, being able to watch them, have some fun, look at an email here and there, and that might be seen as outside of work hours because it's like 6:30 when I'm still at the pool with them. And so it's like there's no way for them to really know like what is happening in our lives and what's normal for us, and that's when I just don't like this stuff. But I think there's a place for it.
Question for you guys. Do you guys shut your phones off at night?
No.
So it's next to the bed on the nightstand, buzzing away?
Yeah.
No, I don't have buzz or ringer. The only thing I have a ringer for, Tim, is calls in because nobody's going to call me at night except a family member. And I have the ringer on for that, but nothing else on.
Same.
So you said that. I got to the point where like I just had so much shit coming in on the phone. Like I just shut it off. Like at 11 o'clock or whatever, I turn the thing off and I turn it back on in the morning. And my wife thinks I'm a psycho for doing that. Like
how do you wake up?
Hi, this is Stacey Harris.
And this is Terry Zipper. And we're the host of the two podcasts under the HR Huddle.
On Spilling the Tea on HR Tech, we uncover the latest trends, truths, and challenges from Sapient Insight Group's groundbreaking research and our analyst insights, serving up everything you need to know about HR tech with no sugarcoating.
And on HR, we have a problem. We tackle the toughest workplace challenges head on, offering you expert advice and actionable solutions to help HR leaders thrive in today's fast-changing world. Whether you want the scoop on tech or tools to solve people problems, we've got you covered.
Take a listen and subscribe. If you want to become part of our community, we'd love to see you.
Like you have a regular alarm clock?
I do. I do. Yeah.
Like one that goes zzz, like a ringing one?
There's this FM station in Lansing that just comes in super hot.
Easy listening
at
songs
5,
come in.
at 5 a.m. for Tim.
By the way, yeah, I actually have like a regular, literally like a $10 alarm clock that just has like the light, like you can see the like time when you like, cause I like wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, do I have 3 hours left? Do I have 1 hour left? What's going on? And I don't want to pick up my phone because then I'd be like stuck like KD checking mail or text messages that he sent me at midnight. But like, so she like literally my alarm goes off and like she hits me because I wouldn't even wake up with that. But I do like when I go on the road though, I leave my phone on, but then I literally wake up like all the time because my phone's constantly like buzzing.
So popular.
No, it's not. It's just stupid. KD, I met with the Microsoft team a couple of years ago at SHRM National. So before the pandemic, so was it 2019? 2019. And had a conversation about MyAnalytics because I think then the big thing was, gosh, this seems big brotherish. Should if I'm an employee, should I be super concerned while I try to manipulate the data? And they said, no, like your supervisor or the organization does not have access to individual contributor data. That's all your own. Now they do have team data. If there's more than like 5 people on your team, you can get team roll-up data. And they do that because if you only had a few people like that, you could probably tell like, right, who was screwing up or who was doing whatever. And so this was kind of built pre-pandemic in a way that I think they have to really go in now and figure out, like, maybe they have to be a bit more directive of people in terms of, hey, if you're working remotely or hybrid, what does your schedule look like? Maybe you're working this kind of pseudo off shift or whatever, because I don't think it necessarily works now the way they had thought it might work. Like if you're all coming into an office and you're sitting at a desk and you're working 8 to 5, 9 to 5, whatever that might be, I think some of this stuff works really well, or at least it helps people or encourages them to think about their work and what they're doing. Not necessarily the well-being piece, because I agree with you on a lot of that stuff. But I do think like the collaboration side of it, like if I'm doing, and you're going to talk about an example of a Microsoft or somebody doing like a ton of meetings. And I remember working corporate and literally seeing weeks where I'd see my entire calendar Monday morning when I got in from 8 a.m. to Friday at 5 p.m. was nothing but meetings every single hour of every single day, and going, how the hell are you going to get anything done?
Yeah, no, it's a good point. And by the way, like everything you said and what Jessica said about like, so Jessica has not adjusted her hours on the platform, but she might, if she's working from home, she'll do something with the kids late afternoon. And by the way, when it goes to our normal employees, that will show as focus time, right?
Yeah.
So there's no like measurement for offline. So anything that's not involved in calls, meetings, emails is called focus time on the platform within normal business hours, which to your point, Tim, especially in a hybrid or a work from home environment is not true. And it's giving people, like it's automatically giving people credit that you are 100% productive during your normal working hours, which is obviously like not true. So in order for this to be like, if Jessica met with her team and she really wanted to use this data, they would have to your point, Tim, kind of how people work these days, they would have to adjust their working hours. And by the way, does anybody really ever know that, right? Because Jessica might start on her golden hour at 9:30 one night, might be 10:45 the next
well
time.
Yeah, so you can see like there's almost like a data path going, like you're going down this kind of rabbit hole of, hey, we're going to ask our people to actually start kind of clocking in and out on their hours, right? No, we don't care when those hours are, but like if you want the data to come out correctly, we need you to actually tell us when you're working. So Jay, like, hey, great, you went to the pool with the kids from 3 to 5, that's awesome, and you work 9 to 11, cool, we need to know that. Well, then all of a sudden now that becomes a little big brotherish feeling, right? Like that freedom of flexibility now feels like, hey, they're putting the shackles back on me through monitoring,
Well, I think the whole concept of well-being is a good one, right?
Yeah.
I'm really interested in it, and I know that I feel great when I take a full day off and I don't do anything work related. I like that a lot. It's valuable. So I think Microsoft is on the right path with well-being. But to both of your points, it is a little bit garbage in, garbage out if you can't like adjust for how work actually happens. Let me give you like a couple more stats just from my deck that I wrote on, and I know both of you are looking at yours now. Microsoft. So the well-being email that came to me took a shot at me related to me being distracted by email. Okay. And it said that I read 75% of my email within 30 minutes of receiving them. Okay. So when you dig in a little bit, the reaction it gave me was, hey, you may be distracted by email. Perhaps think about checking your email once an hour.
What was your time, KD? How quick?
75% of my emails I read within 30 minutes.
Yeah, I have the same kind of, similar.
So here's the deal. Like from a well-being perspective, if you, Jessica, I'll come to you for this one first. If you think about, I'm not saying that's right, by the way. Okay, that's me. Like, I'm trying to be attentive, and if I see something, I'm going to come in and out. I think I still do pretty well on project work for things I'm working on. This podcast obviously is a great example. I'm multitasking right now. I'm joking. But if you think about that, what it doesn't do, Jessica, is it won't give someone, what it won't say from a well-being perspective is, hey, Charlie, you have 300 emails that are unread, that are more than two weeks old. We have concerns for your ongoing employment.
Yeah.
Which is very much a well-being issue, right?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing more well-being than keeping a good job and providing for yourself or your family. JLee, go.
Well, but see, this is why like you can't really use this data and like take it like that seriously, because I'll use myself as an example. I don't read all my emails. I don't care about getting to inbox zero. I don't file my emails. And so if I go to my email inbox, I probably have a few thousand that are unread. And some of it is like, I know like from the sender that it's not going to be that important to me. It is a marketing email, or I see that a reply has come up above it. And so I'm just going to read the most recent reply and forget about the other ones. And so it's just like none of this ever accounts for like individual habits. And so that poor son of a gun who has those unread emails from 2 weeks ago, that includes me. I'm not reading all your emails. And also I'm not responding to all emails. Like if it's really, really, really important, like you're going to call me or you're going to send me a second email, and that's when I'll get to you.
The second email. Maybe Microsoft can have that, right? Hey, this person sent something again. So now it's like super duper critical and they're red flagged at the top of your email inbox.
JLee, are you looking at your MyAnalytics right now?
Yeah, I'm in there.
How many emails do you receive a month? Do you mind sharing? Like, look at it. If you
Where
don't
do
want to share it, it's
where do
cool.
you
where
find
do
that,
I
Katie?
find that?
It's somewhere in the database. So I'm not in it. I'm just looking at my blog post. It said I send 160 emails a week, which I thought was low.
Mm-hmm.
And I read 1,000 emails a week.
I have 178 and read 1,607 and have 4 chats.
So we're similar.
Yeah.
In that regard.
Wait,
JLee,
I
you found
can't
it
see.
yet?
No, I can't.
It was
find
mine
that.
was on the bottom of collaboration. It's communication habits.
Hey,
Collaboration.
Tim, so while JLee's looking for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I got it.
So the danger, react to this, Tim. So
Yeah.
JLee said, hey, I'm not reading all my emails, as kind of a counter to what I said. That's okay if you're a leader and you have a highly complex job. The lower you go in the food chain, I would tell you having 300 unread emails is a problem. Correct?
Hey, and I would say, KD, like the technology is advanced enough through artificial intelligence, they should be able to be sending people like this MyAnalytics should be able to send like an individual contributor like, hey, we think we have 5 emails that you should be responding to that you didn't, right? Based on the conversation or based on the questions being asked, based on who it was being sent from within the organization. I mean, to me, that would be like helpful kind of stuff, right? That would actually make you be more efficient, more effective. And so that you don't look like an idiot, like I constantly am forgetting, like somebody will send me an email like at 10 o'clock at night and I'll probably see it on my phone and I'll go, okay, tomorrow I'm going to respond to that when I get to the office because there's something I need to know before I respond. And then by the time I get to the office, there's 200 emails and I forget about it, and then I have to wait for JLee's second email to come to, like remind me to respond. And I think that's where I would like, to me, where the technology would be helpful is if they could come back and say, hey, dumb, you forgot, respond to this. It's been 24 hours, whatever.
Gmail does that. Gmail will say, this email looks important. You haven't responded to it like in a week. But I also find that a nuisance because there are times where I'm like, I did not respond to it intentionally. Like, stop reminding me. But so this is like perfect example of the data not being good. Like in my communications habits, it says in the last 4 weeks, I read 10,000 emails, but that's only because I archived I think I archived like 9,000 and deleted some because I was like, well, my email inbox is just clogged. I'm just going to shovel these all away. Yeah. So I didn't even read those.
Hey, is archiving the new kind way to say you just deleted like a bunch of emails?
No, I truly archive because like I want to be able to go back and like pull something up if I need it and just do a search.
See, the difference between archiving is it gets saved as a file that you can go back and search on. If you delete them and really delete them, they're not in your delete inbox. They're gone, right? They don't take up the data. But
did it say? Give me those stats again, JLee, and then we'll move on.
By the way, I think this is a fascinating podcast. Like, this is exactly what we hoped for when we started HR Famous, was that it's just going to be the three of us having a conversation like we would if we were sitting having a beer together.
I sent in the last 4 weeks 489 emails. I read 10,000, which isn't accurate, and had 76 chats and calls in the last 4 weeks.
That's
so
very
your sent emails were in the range of Tim and myself.
No,
right?
double.
Oh, double? Wait,
yeah.
She said 449 in a month, Tim.
Oh, gotcha.
So she's like at 115, 112, 115. I was at 160 and you were at what?
178.
Felt low.
It does.
By the way, those second two numbers were weekly, right? So you do the math and we're all like within range. That felt low. I think just to like close this out, like I just thought it was interesting to get. By the way, I will give props to Microsoft, the MyAnalytics platform. Hey, they're taking a shot at giving data. What I really get concerned about is you have like a static calendar like standard, and they're saying you're working too much off hours. And to Tim, to your earlier point, work's changed. Jessica, you mentioned this as well. I don't know that I want like 1,000 employees. If I'm the crow at a company, whether I have 1,000 employees or 100,000 employees, I don't know that I really feel great about that information going to employees without context. And there's not enough context right now.
Yeah.
I think is the point. By the way, have you seen, Jessica, like speaking of like what email is important, shout out to Microsoft. There's an email address called, is it Cortana?
Yeah.
Have you seen these emails?
Yeah.
Every morning. Just recently in the last couple of weeks, it started sending me a digest, Jessica, of the commitments I had made.
Oof.
It sends me like 8 a day of stuff that I had sent in email or responses that I had sent. Now, what I will tell you, Microsoft, even though like I'm picking away a little bit at this well-being thing, that's pretty valuable because I get that thing and I'm like, I didn't even really know I said that.
I get that. I mean, I literally get that every day at like 6:40 in the morning. Gives me, it's basically prepare for your day's meetings, and then commitments and follow-ups are all there. And so it is kind of cool to go like, holy crap. And it comes every single day, which is nice.
I turned mine off.
You turned it off?
Yeah.
I'm going to keep all this stuff going because I think it's like super valuable. Hey, and that's really like, we're running a little bit long, so I'll cut it off there. I think what we learned is that, Jessica just really reads a lot of emails. She's got a lot of incoming.
A lot of incoming.
Like 10,000. We also learned that Tim's golden hour is from like 3:30 to 4:30. Big surprise. That's AM, by the way,
AM,
not PM. And Jessica, night out. I expected that.
Yeah. Shout
We
out to
also
the
learned.
MyAnalytics team as well. I know, KD, that
Yeah.
you said you were going to do the unboxing, right? They sent you some gear, right?
They did. And, you know, I don't know if
Ooh.
this is going great
Wait,
for them.
Jessica,
but
we didn't get it. Only the truly HR famous person on the pod got it.
no, it was cool stuff. And by the way, you know, even though I wonder about the impact of the emails to all the employees, like a lot of the stuff they're trying to do, you know, with mindfulness and things like that, I'm interested in.
Yeah. I thought their product team actually came at it from the right way as well. They were trying to protect the individual employee from the big brother kind of corporate like view. And, you know, and we'll talk about, you know, trust and other things in other pods, but like, I really think they were like, hey, how do we help an employee be better, be a better employee, right? Be better at whatever job you have, not just the well-being aspect of helping yourself be more, but also like more productive. How do we help people do that? So
I'm going to respond to that, Jessica. I'm going to let you close this out with what another thing we learned, because you were coming in on that when Tim came in, right? So I'm going to let you close this out. Before I'll say that, by the way, the Cortana thing, actually, you can add it to your to-do list right from there. Pretty helpful. How cool would it be? I'll just ask this rhetorical question. Don't react. Then I'm coming to you to close this out, Jessica. How cool would it be to see all the commitments that have been made across your organization in a day? That's insane data. And from a Microsoft perspective, wow. I think there's a lot of like C-levels and OD people and HR leaders who would pay for that. Jessica, what did we learn? I'm going to let you close this out. What did you have that we learned today through this engrossing conversation about what's in our inbox?
Well, I was just going to say that we learned sometimes the two of you like maybe just need to hug it out a little bit. I didn't know what was happening midway through the episode. And I actually just was really concerned, like, do we have some friction here that we need to resolve? So hug it out, guys. You know,
the pandemic's wearing on us, Jay. We haven't seen each other enough in person.
It's just crucial conversations. You know, it's fearless, really coming in. Hey, thanks for helping me with my calendar setup, Tim. That's great. All right. That's it for HR Famous. She, as always, is the magnificent Jessica Lee. He's the equally magnificent. See him coming right back with the warmth. Let's hug it out. Tim Sackett. I'm Chris Dunn. Until next time, that's HR Famous. We are out.